So earlier today, we got the new Crimson Mansion, and this brings with it a lot of opportunity to get new rewards. And ultimately, the best way is through your contract scrolls. If, like me, as I said to do for prep, you saved up your tier 1 contract scrolls and then dissolved them for these seals, you could then have crafted a ton of these new contracts. And I personally crafted over 70 of each and have finally got through all of them. So in this video, we've got 95 blessing pouches to open and see what kind of drops we're getting. I made a previous video and I opened about 60 and got super lucky and earned nearly 3,000 lucent with these 3 drops. In that previous video, I also went over some tips and tricks and the easy way to basically get through your Crimson Mansion 2 contract scrolls. And so in this video, later on, we'll cover the Crimson 1 contract scrolls and how you can get through them super fast, and ultimately they're actually the fastest contracts you can get through, and you can even do it solo without a party. So let's begin by actually opening these pouches. So earlier in my previous video, I already opened about 63 of these Murderous Ghost blessing pouches, so we already know what to expect, but ultimately getting these Vanguard gauntlets is what you want, but the drop rate is very small on that. Let's use that, see what we actually get. And we got super unlucky and didn't even get a single tier 2 item other than the blue things. But yes, we did only open 18 of them. But now we have the grudge ones. Again, they are from the Crimson Mansion 1 contracts. And these have entirely different loot, including the Vanguard breastplate. But the drop rate's pretty tiny on that. So let's get 77 of these opened, and we did not get it. But we also did run into inventory issues, so we still have 22 left. I will just get rid of the blue stuff here. My first step is always to feed in like tier 1 stuff into my tier 2 weapons for blessings and the chance for it to just upgrade. Can also check my lithograph book and add those, and we see if we can open the remaining pouches. We did get the Devious Hellfire Grips, which is actually pretty good that we got range on that. We got another one with hit chance, but you get a lot of this blue stuff. And the remaining 10 packs, we actually got it. So I'm chuffed to bits. That was totally successful. I made at least another 2,000 lucent off that. That trait's not going to sell, but this ranged one, I already sold one for about 150, still about that price. And yeah, this Aurix Vanguard's full plate. I will definitely be selling that lithograph sooner than late. You can see 2,800. You can really see how the price has crashed. It went to about 3,000 the lowest tier, and now it's been crashing down to 2,900. I think I will honestly sell it for that much. People are having undercutting wars, but the risk is if I sell it at this price, it could always climb back up higher again because people don't necessarily have that many contract scrolls and they're burning through them all now. And then there might be a lull period where there's less supply but still demand and the price could go back up. But I need to lithograph it first, so I need to create those blank lithographs, which I do here. I just need my precious rune leather, craft a bunch, and create 2 lithographs. This is actually something they changed from Korea. In Korea, you only need 1 blank lithograph. Now we need 2, but it does kind of make sense. Let's put that thing on sale. I'm gonna go 288. My other loot, let's extract these arms. Hit chance on arms is very new as well. Yes, 200. That's actually even better. I am running out of extract stones. Somebody already went down to 2850. I'll go 277. We did get 4 weapons here, with 3 of them being the Juggernauts, 1 of them being the Spear. The Spear is actually not too bad in PvE, although I would probably strive for the Wind Shear Spear instead, with the species damage boost. And generally the traits on these don't really sell for anything, unless it's like attack speed, heavy attack. And in terms of armor, that's also generally pretty surprisingly low. Like the amount of trait extract stones, 50 for this. You would want to try and get at least 100 lucent for that. but if you have an excess of extract stones, by all means go and sell, because prices will only be dropping over time. So yeah, the rest of my items here, not really of much value, but still very happy with that haul. That luck, we even already sold it. I will see in a week or so if I regret selling it that low. Maybe I could have gotten a lot more for it, but still, over 2,000 lucent for one item. That's probably the highest value item I have actually ever dropped in this game. At least that I could sell. But now let's jump to my tips on how to get through these contracts super quickly. Particularly the Crimson 1 contracts that have the Vanguard chest piece, amongst some other useful items. Well, I found the fastest way is to go to B1. This floor here, and you want to get contracts that prioritize killing just mutants. There are unfortunately only 4 of them, and 2 will require you to have to get this magic book. More on that later, but you're going to have to sort through these contracts and ultimately only get the ones that display the mutant. There are only 4 of them. So there is this one where you have to defeat 12 and then get the magic book. Then there's the second one, you defeat 12 again and get the magic book. Your third one, you defeat 9 of one type and then 6 of another type, and finally 8 of one type and 6 of another type. And these mutants spawn so quickly and they're really close to each other that getting tags on them and grouping them up is super easy. Now, I personally done the majority of these contracts without being in a party. Pretty much just going around as my healer and tagging enemies. Not like tagging them as in I'll get the loot, just hitting them, doing a little bit of damage and moving on to the next enemy. And what this does is that when the enemy dies, it contributes to the contract. So I can just hit the enemy, run off, find the next group of players who's kiting some enemies, tag all of them, and then your contracts will just pretty much passively complete because the other guys are killing enemies. And then you go and you get your next contract. So even when this place is packed full, all you need to do is do a little bit of damage on the enemy. And when that enemy dies, you will get rewarded for contribution towards your contracts. And then you just go pop the next one. Re-rolling these contracts can be a bit annoying because there are literally only those 4 that I showed you. Go and screenshot them and remember them, as you just want to do those. If you end up doing any of them with the wraiths, you're going to have to go to the floor below and it takes much longer. And if you get one of the bosses, you're also going to have to go to the floor below and find that boss, wait for a group, and then kill the boss, and it all just takes time. It's super easy here to just, like on the boat, flash wave, hit all the enemies, and then just tag them all with your basic attacks and go to another group who's, say, farming them, like over here. Since I've tagged all the ones back there, when they do die, they will contribute to ticking off my contracts, and you get through them so quickly. You get through them faster than if you were in a party and actually killing enemies normally. Not as efficient because you aren't doing 2 things at once then. We're literally just going for contracts here as fast as possible because I really didn't have much contract tokens left and there wasn't much point in committing to a party and then having to take much longer with that. And ultimately, towards the very end, when I was nearly completed my last contracts, one of the groups that I was kind of hanging out with just invited me to the party. I considered rejecting, but I was like, I'm nearly done my contracts. I have like 4,000 tokens. Being able to spend some other currencies to be able to get maybe another 2,000. So I may as well burn the rest of those tokens, as again, my contract grind was pretty much over. We'll pop some buff food and then we'll actually go. And that's another thing. You don't have to use buff food if you're just tagging the enemies to get the contribution towards the contracts and not being a part of a party. It's just to try not hit the enemies before the actual players who are farming do, or you will really piss them off because you are then stealing loot and just making a mess with their pulls. And ultimately, yes, you are leeching off their efforts of killing them, but you're also helping by dealing a bit of damage and not getting the loot drops that they would be. So you are still helping towards getting the enemies killed, even if it's just by a little bit, and you're benefiting off that by getting your contracts done. In terms of retrieving that Kaiser's Dark Magic book, just go up the steps here to the left and simply head straight to the doorway here. In this room, there are 3 locations you can find the magic book. One just respawned there. I can go interact with it, completing my contract, and there are 2 other locations. One is going to be over here and another on the desk. It just appeared. You can see where I am up here on the map as well. In terms of the 3rd floor contracts, the Crimson Mansion 2 contract scrolls, they give a different pouch, which can give the Vanguard pants and the Vanguard arms. They are honestly a bit higher value right now. Because the drop rate on the pants is higher, you only need to open like 120 of these pouches and you'll most likely get it. And then on top of that, they have the gauntlets that can drop. So you honestly have a higher chance of getting better value loot from this pouch. However, if everybody does that, and the price drops on these pants to like 400, then it might not be worth doing that at all. You will have to look at the balance for yourself. Check the value of the items in the pouch of the 2 different types of contracts. And depends, if everybody's doing this contract, then it's better to do the other contract. So I can't tell you to do either or. I showed you right now how to get the contract scroll 1s done in the Crimson Mansion, to get the Grudge Blessing pouches, and they are super easy to do. Again, just make sure you're doing the ones with the mutant, this one right here. You will have to get the book as well, and then there are the other 2, which is simply just killing mutants. And while you kill them, you also have a chance to drop that Vanguard chest plate. Again, you can watch my previous video for the 3rd floor contracts and how to get through them easily. And overall, I hope this video was somewhat insightful and helpful. So thanks all for watching, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.